it's Alan Rosenberg. Welcome to another edition of the Alan Rosenberg Show. I'm going to do something a little bit different, maybe like a sub aspect of the show. And I'm going to call this series Take a Hit. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe to you relatively shortly, hopefully, some of my favorite albums of all time that you probably never heard of. And I really believe that these are some of the greatest albums in the history of rock and roll that are ever made that you may not be familiar with. But I personally guarantee you, I am telling you, you will love these albums. That's how great these albums are. So this is going to be show number one, and the album I'm going to be talking about is this one. And it's an artist called Fish. Now I'm going to get into who Fish is. You may have heard of him, a Scottish singer. This is his first solo album called Vigil in a Wilderness of Mirrors. This album came out in 1990. This is an import. It was not available in the United States. I was lucky enough to find this and three other Fish albums at a flea market in Queens. And I picked it up, never heard a single song from it, and I was just blown away. Now, I knew who Fish was because I'm a fan of Marillion. He was the lead singer of Marillion. This is the cover art, and in the middle, the gatefold of the CD. I don't know if you could really see it, but it's basically humanity trying to work its way up the top of the hill and all life's challenges that we have to face. And that's what this album is about. It is incredible. It passes the Carrie test. So Carrie is my wife, and she's not a big music person, but she hears music all the time because in my house it plays 24 hours when I'm not watching a movie on TV. And she fell in love with this album. She's the kind of person that when she was young, she'd buy an album and listen to 2 songs on it. But even this album, she loves. She just thinks it's great. So let me tell you about this album. 1990s when it came out. I got it in 1997. It was never really released in America, but over in the UK, it peaked at number 5. It was my number 1 album of the year. I do a top 3 every year, and I buy well over 100 albums a year. I mean, it beat out the Sheryl Crow, her second album. It beat out the Stones' Bridges to Babylon. This album is fantastic. So, it's got 9 songs on it. I'll start describing it. The first one is called Vigil. It's the title track. It's an epic progressive song. It's like 8 minutes long. It takes like 3 minutes just for it to kick in with Scottish pipes because he's from Scotland. So it's got Scottish pipes, a grand epic sound. It's a phenomenal track. But that's not the track that you want to start with, okay? I'm going to go track by track. Track number 2 is called Big Wedge. Big Wedge is kind of the most dated sounding track because it's got that 80s rock sound. He's got a horn section that kicks in. Almost sounds like a Phil Collins track from his live album, that Serious Hits live album. It would fit perfectly on it. It's catchy, it's good, but it's a little bit of dated. Then we start getting into just an incredible run of songs. State of Mind is the third track. It starts off atmospheric. It's like got some Steve Hackett type of guitar ambient sounds, which I love. Tasty little drum tapping. And then it goes into this anthemic, catchy chorus with a great hook. We the people are getting tired of your games, tired of your lies. Excuse my singing, but it is phenomenal. And then it goes back and forth. It's got some tasty fat bass in it. I'm going to tell you at the end the songs you got to hear, but that's one of them. State of Mind, number 3. Then it goes into the next song, The Company. Another incredible, incredible song. It's similar to State of Mind. It's got some acoustic guitar opening, nylon strings, just really catchy, nice little drum accents, Scottish pipes, a really beautiful, overwhelming sound. And it goes into another hooky, anthemic chorus. The Company, about working for a company. What's the line? He goes, "Oh boy, can you drink to me now? Here on the hill, halfway up, halfway down. How we spend our lives working for the company. It's unbelievable. And you can relate to this. Well, I can. You spend your life working for a company with the idea that you're going to How's it going to satisfy you? Will it satisfy you? Do they care about you? Is it just working for the company? Fantastic stuff. And hooky, melodic, full sounding, progressive, yet catchy. Short. I mean, what's the song? 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes? Not bad. Then it goes into a song called The Gentleman's Excuse Me. An incredible ballad, my wife's favorite song. It's a piano ballad, it's orchestral, it's lush. Reminds me of like a Phil Collins song or even Elton John circa Leave On or Tiny Dancer. Reminds me of that. A Gentleman's Excuse Me, a song to his wife, his lover, saying, for every one step forward, I'm taking 2 steps back. Can you get it inside your head? I'm tired of dancing. That's how it goes. I mean, I'm not a huge lyric guy. I'm really not. I'm more a musical guy. But man, it just hits you. Who can? How could you not relate to that? You're in a relationship. I'm tired of dancing. Not physical dancing. Dancing, maneuvering. We're always dancing with each other. Fantastic. Unbelievable song. A Gentleman's Excuse Me. Then you get into a song called The Voyeur. That's like also a little bit of a dated sound because it's from the 80s. It's a rocker, but it's good. Not unbelievable, but it's good. Then it gets into another song called Family Business. Another magnificent, melodic, beautiful ballad with powerful lyrics. And he takes on the what about physical abuse in a family, where he's a guy and he sees somebody wearing sunglasses because he knows they're bruised. And he sings in it, can you tell me how long it remains family business? Because he wants to help, but it's family business. But how long will it remain family business? Fantastic. Family business, that track. It's got a magnificent guitar in it towards the end. Twin guitar leads, very reminiscent of Wishbone Ash. And I love twin lead guitars, everybody does, and it just sounds great in that song. From there, goes into a song called View from the Hill. That's a most hard rocking song, like a progressive hard rocking song, very bombastic. And that's what he's talking about. He's working for that company. They sold you a view from the hill that you're going to make it to the top and be at that hill. Here's the graphic. They're on the top of the hill. But can you make it to the top of the hill? And will you be happy at the top of the hill? And that's what he's talking about on this. The final song on there, an unbelievable track. What is it, like 7+ minutes, called Cliche. Again, about relationship. It's a dramatic, melodic, proggy, powerful ballad. And it's 7+ minutes. And sometimes, he says, sometimes the best way is with an old cliche. Just keeps repeating it towards the end with beautiful, chill-inducing music. Sometimes the best way is with an old cliche to how to communicate. It's a magnificent piece of work that it's fantastic. My number one album of the year, that particular year, I got it in '97. Like I said, it was never really released in this country, but I know it's a Spotify world. You got to be able to find it out there. So, Vigil in a Wilderness of Mirrors, I love it from top to bottom. But all right, so you've never heard any of this stuff. What do you need to listen to? You're going to start with A Gentleman's Excuse Me. You're going to play The Company. You're going to check out Family Business, and you're going to check out Cliche and State of Mind, and you'll love them. I guarantee it. My wife loves this stuff. It's impossible not to love. Then if you love those tracks, you listen to the rest of the album, including the title track Vigil, which is a progressive masterpiece. So who's Fish? Well, Fish was the lead singer in this band Marillion. Maybe you heard of Marillion. They were what they call a neo-prog, which basically is they were, progressive rock was huge, of course, in the 70s, and it died out. And then, came back in the 80s, and these guys were at the forefront over in England. And this album, Misplaced Childhood, is a great album. Actually had a bit of a hit in America called Kayleigh, Kayleigh. Check out that song. It's a phenomenal song, impossible not to love. But Marillion, Fish was the lead singer, and they did a whole bunch of albums with great artwork. And then he left, and then Marillion's still going with a different singer called Steve Hogarth. That's Steve Hogarth years. But this is a compilation that's got Hogarth years and the Fish years. I much prefer the Fish years. No offense to Steve Hogarth. Fish has got a huge career, still going strong. His second album, Internal Exile, really good record. He released a whole bunch of live things, what he would call official bootlegs. He's great live. So these are some of Fish's other albums. You can't get them in America. Really hard to find. Yang. This is a really good one. Sun Empire. This had a release in America for a while. I think they're all out of print. This was a compilation called Kettle of Fish with a DVD. This is a super album. This is his second best album, Rain Guards with Zippos. That's a great one. All his albums are really good. Here's another one, Fellini Nights. And this is not even all of his albums. Third Star, another terrific album. And one of his more recent ones, A Feast of Consequences. He's got great artwork, too. So, Fish, Vigil in the Wilderness of Mirrors, my number one album of the year back in 97, even though it came out in 90. You're not really going to be able to get it, but you can get it on Spotify, I'm sure. And I guarantee you will love it. Rhino, put out some Fish albums. So, thanks for tuning in. It's Alan Rosenberg. I hope you enjoyed this. And please check out this Fish album. I don't get anything for this. I'm just trying to make your life more enjoyable musically. And I guarantee, a gentleman's excuse me, the company, state of mind, family business, cliche, you'll love it. My wife does. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.